Most ads on the internet are written like the seller is doing you a favor, and 911s are no exception. No tire kickers, no test pilots, I know what I got, price is firm, cash in hand. Buying just about anything is an emotional experience. I mean, after all, we use our emotions to make our decision and offer us guidance. And like it or not, if you don't have a handle on it, someone is going to take advantage of it. Here's what I learned.
Buying
So
a
that's what I
car
meant
or
by
buying anything
cliché.
is an
I don't want
emotional
to sell you
journey,
a
and
car.
managing
I
those
want to help you
emotions are
buy a car.
difficult. And with respect to the recent journey I was on with the 911, I want to talk about three cliches or three internetisms that come up. The first is buy the car you plan to sell. That's an important one. And the theory there is buy the vehicle that you know someday someone else is going to want. So it's not an odd color. You know, the same things that attract you to that car, you want to make it attractive for someone else. So that's number one. The second thing is don't buy the car, buy the service history. And that's going to be the bulk of what this quick video is about. And the third thing is I'm not here to sell you a car, I'm here to help you buy a car. And when you look at some of the ads and some of the internet postings up there about people selling high-end cars and how kind of almost standoffish some of the ads are with sayings like tire kickers, no test pilots, I know what I got. Yeah, it doesn't make me want to reach out and have a conversation with you about your vehicle. It's kind of scary and intimidating to have to think about dealing with you. So think about that if you're selling anything online. The other part is buying the service history, not the vehicle. So start a binder. It's not hard to do. If you already own the car and you've owned it since new and you've never kept a single stick of paperwork from the Porsche service history, you as the licensed owner of that vehicle can go into the dealer and ask for printouts of all the work they've done for you. Also, any specialty shops that you've had the vehicle into. It's really hard for a buyer to go into those shops and say, hey, I've got the VIN number. Could you give me the service history of this vehicle? If you catch the service manager on a good day, or if you happen to be friends with them and you've done business with them before, your best case is they will give you copies of service records with the owner's name redacted because that's private information. But if you as the owner can do that before you post the car for sale, stick it in a binder, put a cover on it, just put some thought into care into what you're trying to sell. I came across the fact a couple individuals in the market that are nothing more than Porsche brokers. And these people exist and offer a fantastic service for a reason because there's a bunch of people out there that care for their cars, know what their cars are worth, have all the right things in them, and they use an intermediary to help weed out qualified and unqualified buyers. You find less of that on the pre-owned market, certainly as a private sale, and definitely in the dealer space. In the dealer space, it's a little different because a lot of times the dealer might have had that car before and they're taking it on a trade-in. So there's a continuum of service history there. But yeah, all that's to say is like, think about what a buyer might want to see when you're trying to sell your vehicle. I am even going to, at some point in my life, when I do sell my car, the service history, I may just put all those documents in a read-only Google Drive. And when someone reaches out to me to ask me about the car, I'll just say, here's all the records. I'm going to do another episode about how I'll take all that paperwork and dump it into an AI tool and have the AI tool just do a quick read of the summary of all the service history and paint a timeline of that service. That was something I did when I was looking for my car. The other thing too, the first two questions I asked any private seller or even the dealers, I would say, is a CARFAX available? And their service documents history available. Pay the $75 out of your own pocket to get your own CARFAX, post the link on your ad. You'll save so much time and you'll qualify so many more buyers that way by just taking that little extra step. And if you have the service documents available, say, I have documents available on request, or put them in a drive and ask for the link, I'll share them with you. I even saw one ad that said, I don't have service documents for this car, so please don't ask. I mean, at least there's transparency there, and the guy was honest and upfront about what was available for that car. The last thing, this one might be a little controversial, but The last thing you may want to do is get your Porsche inspection done by the dealer. Sure, it's going to cost you maybe $1,000. Factor that into the sell price. Everyone's probably going to ask if they can get it inspected, and you're going to have to take time out of your day and schedule it around their calendars to get it in because they're going to pay for it and pick it up. The other thing about doing this is if you get the inspection done yourself, then you know where the landmines are, and it's better to own up and own those things on the offense than on the defense. So don't let someone come to you with a list of surprises and say, well, this is wrong and that's wrong and that's wrong. And then you're treading water and trying to dig your way out of the conversation about how you're going to manage these things. Take the things that you know are issues, factor that into your sell price, tell it on the advertisement that the price got built-in costs allowances for the things that need to be fixed. And that removes a lot of the haggling later on down the road, and just say, no, I know this thing is broken, or I know this is past due. I've built it into my selling price. And so that's just, you're removing that artillery for later on in the conversation. So that's really all I wanted to say. A lot of this channel is about managing your emotions and internal demons or internal things that go on when you're trying to do these things. Another thing I'm going to talk about in some of the AI episodes is using AI as a negotiation coach. Say you want to reach out on an offer and you want to make an offer and propose something, you can work with AI as a tool to say, this is what I want to offer, this is why, help me structure the conversation. And then you avoid those kind of like lowball offers, I'll pick it up tomorrow, cash in hand, which almost never happens. That happened to the car I bought. The guy told me, oh yeah, there's a guy coming. Let's talk about this real quick before I wrap this up. When I reached out to him, the car was on the internet for one day, and he told me that he had a guy coming at 1 o'clock that afternoon that wanted the car, was paying cash. I actually got on the phone with him, so opened the opportunity to have a real conversation, not just a text dialogue. And I said, if I were in your shoes and I had a cash offer coming that afternoon, I said, I wouldn't blame you for taking that if it come along. Like, I can't fault you for that. I said, in my experience, those often turn out to be no-shows or they flake out. I hope that's not the case, but if it is, please let me know. I am a serious buyer. In fact, what I told him is I'm going to just book an inspection for the car until I hear from you, just to shorten down that time window of getting this transaction done. You're trying to take as much of the work off of his plate as possible. You're trying to make it as easy as possible. And in my case, exactly what I said happened. The buyer didn't show up. I texted him after 1 o'clock. I didn't wait to hear from him. I said, how did it go? And he said, yeah, the guy was a no-show. And I said, I have the car booked in for this day. Is that okay? And I even said, if you send me a copy of your driver's license and your registration so that I can match the ID to the car registration, I am happy to give you a deposit subject to that inspection. I'm not here to waste your time. So just some things. I know all this is kind of common sense, obvious stuff, but I had a lot of feedback both from dealers and private sellers that appreciated how honest I was, how transparent I was. You know, when something wasn't a fit for me anymore, I didn't keep stringing someone along. And I said, listen, I don't think this is going to work out and I don't want to take up any more of your time.
So that's what I meant by cliche. I don't want to sell you a car. I want to help you buy a car. Next up, I'm going to show you how I used AI as a negotiation coach to make numerous offers on numerous cars. Even some I had no intention of buying, just for the practice. Because that lowball cash in hand, I'll pick it up tomorrow move almost never works. Don't worry, there is a better way.